Hey everyone, it's Jen from You So Much, and I'm here today with a special Fanta review straight from the test kitchen. That's right, I thought it would be really fun to do a taste tester of 3 different olive oils and tell you which one is the olive oil of your fantasies. So the reason why I thought olive oil would be fun is because my sister and I are starting a salad dressing business. She is the queen of salad dressings. She makes the most delicious salad dressings. And in fact, every time we have a dinner get together or Thanksgiving, she's always the one that's been told to bring the salad dressings. But we can't help it because it's just so darn good. But we were talking about the business and we were talking about what olive oil we would recommend for the salads, and she was like, I really want to make sure that we recommend something that's really, really good quality because apparently there's a lot of this fake olive oil out there. And I was like, what? I had no idea. I mean, I kind of had heard something about this, but I didn't really think it was that legit. And apparently it's a pretty rampant thing, especially if the olive oil is from Italy. She said that she herself will often just buy olive oil from Greece or from Spain because apparently it's less likely to be fake. And so I looked this up just to kind of do my own research on it to see a little bit more about it. A lot of times what people will do is they'll substitute some or all of the olive oil with a lower grade oil that just isn't as good, and then they'll enhance the flavor with a little bit of olive oil and other things to make it taste like it's olive oil. And unless you are a true olive oil aficionado, you may not know that it's not legit, and they're being sold at the grocery stores as if they're this high quality olive oil when they're really not. And there was a big fraud ring that was busted a couple of years ago in Italy, so this is actually a thing. So then I thought to myself, well, what can we do? How can we make it so that we can tell what's the real stuff and what's not? Is there any way for us to know? And there are a few things that you can do to help make sure the olive oil you have on your table, in your cupboard, is the real stuff, the real deal, not fake. So the first thing to look for is to look on the label and see what the expiration date is of the olive oil. Apparently, if it's real olive oil, it really only has a shelf life of a couple years. And unlike wine, olive oil does not get better in time. The fresher it is, the better it is. And so apparently, if it has an expiration date that's past 2 years, if you pick it up and the expiration is more than 2 years out, it's probably not real olive oil, because real olive oil is really not good over a couple of years on the shelf. And especially if that olive oil is coming from somewhere else, sometimes it can take quite a while to get to your grocery store shelf. So definitely, if it's more than 2 years out, it's probably not the real thing. The other thing they said to look for is to see where the olive oil is made, because there are some regions in Italy that are really known for growing olive trees and some that aren't. And so if it's from an area in Italy where there's not a lot of olive oil farms or olive trees, I would highly suggest that may not be real olive oil. And then the last thing you can look for is you can look at the color of the jar that the olive oil is in, because real olive oil will be preserved much longer if it's in a darker or shaded glass jar rather than something that's clear. And so if it's clear, it's probably not real olive oil because you're not taking care to make sure it's staying in good condition. And then obviously, if you can source the olive oil right back to the farm directly, then you know it's good olive oil. My sister has a friend who actually goes to Italy and buys olive oil from different farmers, and then she brings it back and she sells it from her own little shop. She has like a salt and olive oil shop where she sells it herself. And so there may be something like that in your local town. There is here in Portland where you can buy maybe specialty olive oils and vinegars and salts, and usually those people that are in those specialty stores are literally going themselves to the farms and getting that olive oil themselves, so they know for sure it's real and it's not fake. Now, if you normally come to my channel because you really like my copywriting tips and you're not necessarily here for my Fanta reviews or my Fantasy Fridays or some of my other series, I have an extra bonus for you, because one of my favorite sales pages of all times is on a website called freshpressedoliveoil.com. It's a fantastic sales page that's basically for an olive oil club, and the concept there is that there's this olive oil hunter who's going around getting fresh pressed olive oil directly from the farms and then delivering it directly to your home. So the theory there is that you're getting it fresh pressed as soon after the pressing as possible, so you have the freshest oil that you can possibly have. So anyway, it's a really great sales page. If you really are into copywriting, I highly suggest you look at it because it's got a great headline, some great call to actions on it. It's just a really well-crafted page. And if you understand sales pages and want to have another little extra swipe file for yourself, I highly suggest it. Also, a fun little fact that I didn't really know is that when it says it's cold pressed on the bottle, that's something that's really appealing to people. And I knew that, but I didn't really know why. And the reason why is because what it usually means when it says it's cold pressed is that the juices were extracted from the olive by pressing it instead of using heat to extract it, which basically just preserves the olive oil longer. By the way, I don't know if you noticed that I just used the word juices. Another thing that's really cool about olives is that technically they are a fruit. Olive oil is basically a fresh pressed juice. Isn't that cool? I love it. You know me, and I love all things juicy. I am a big fan of using juicy stories in your copy. And so anyway, I just thought that was kind of a fun little fact. Okay, so let's get to the tastings. And these are the 3 olive oils that I chose. The first one is from Greece. It's called Terra Midi, and it's 100% virgin olive oil. Also, one of those things that I didn't know before, I knew that 100% virgin olive oil meant it was a higher grade olive oil, but I didn't realize that what basically that means is that it has a lower acidity factor than other olive oil. So it has to meet a certain grade of acidity in the olive oil in order to be called 100% virgin olive oil. They also have gone through some rigorous testing, and it usually basically means that the olive oil tastes as much like olives as possible. The second olive oil that I chose to try is one that I basically use as an everyday olive oil. I use it with my cooking and stuff all the time. I can find it at the local Whole Foods, and it's called California Olive Farm is where it's from, and it's a really basic one, like I said. And then the third one I chose is from Oregon. Can you believe we actually have an olive oil in Oregon? It's from Oregon Olive Mill. Originally was a winery, Durant Winery. They started the winery back in the 70s, just a small plot of land, and started with Pinot Noir wine. And as you may know, here in Oregon, we're known for our Pinot Noir, but we're definitely not known for our olive trees. And this winery just decided to give it a try, and it's the only olive oil farm in Oregon, at least right now. Who knows, maybe there'll be more. So I noticed when I bought this, by the way, available at the local Whole Foods here in Portland, that they had 3 different varieties of olive oil, and it looks like they were all based on the variety of olives that were used to make the olive oil. Frontiollo. I hope I'm saying that right. This particular one had the gold award. It won the 2017 olive oil competition. So of course I had to pick up this one to try. And if you're an olive oil aficionado, you may be very particular about the type of olives that it's made from. So one of the things I thought was really cool is that typically when you try different kinds of olive oils, that they have different colors to them. So what I thought I would do is pour each one of the olive oils into these little white bowls so we could clearly see the colors of them. Now typically Spanish olive oil tends to be a little bit of a brighter yellow color, while Greek olive oil tends to be a little bit more of a greenish color, and then Italian olive oil is a little bit darker. As you can see, the 3 olive oils that I chose are all pretty similar in color. This one from Greece is a much deeper yellow, I would say, for sure. And then the Californian one's a little bit lighter, and then the Oregon one is the lightest, brightest yellow, I would say. Okay, so let's get to the tasting. I can't wait. Now, apparently, there's a lot of different great ways you can taste olive oil. You can, of course, use bread, which is the most common, bread, crackers, that kind of thing. But if you go to an olive oil farm, they'll often let you try their olive oil with other things such as vegetables and things like that too. But I just thought for today, I would just try it with the same bread. One of my favorites, ciabatta, and we'll just give each one of them a try. All right, I can't wait. Let's give it a go. All right, the first one I'm gonna try is the one from Greece. Nice, bright olive oil flavor. A tiny bit of pepper on the end. Very strong on flavor with olives. Okay, let's give this California one a try. I'm wondering if you can hear me chewing on the mic. That one has a much more mild flavor. A little bit of buttery, not a lot of pepper. All right, let's give this Oregon one a try. See if it's as good as the gold sticker says it is. Oh my God, you guys. This is so good. I might be a little bit biased because I'm from Oregon, right? But I will say that definitely had a really delicious buttery flavor on the beginning with nice light bright pepper on the end. No, I gotta say, it is from Oregon. So the chances are that this olive oil is a little bit fresher, right? And the fresher it is, the better it's gonna taste, because, you know, when you're flying in olive oil from other different places, it may take a little bit longer to get on the shelf. And I'm guessing this Oregon one is fresher. So I gotta take that into consideration too. But oh my God, that was really, really good. So I highly recommend the Oregon Mill olive oil. It is so good. If you are here in Portland, you can get it from the local Whole Foods, or let's face it, the winery is like an hour drive. It's worth it. It's a great winery. By the way, I've been there. It's been like a year since I've been there, but it has delicious wine and a really amazing wine tasting room. It's really, really cute little winery. And I'm sure you can probably order it online. So for those of you who aren't in Portland, I'll put the link to their website below. And actually it goes for all three of these because these were all really great. They were all extra virgin olive oil. They were all real as far as I can tell based on the different things they say to look for. Really, you can't go wrong with any of them. I'm still gonna use this one a lot for my general cooking. I mean, I make eggs and stuff with olive oil and popcorn. Popcorn is so good with olive oil, by the way, people. If you've never tried it before, it is delicious. I used to make popcorn only with butter, and it is so good with olive oil and a little bit of fresh salt, little sea salt, and a glass of Prosecco, and you're good to go for the movies, people. Now I'm gonna have a little bit with some vinegar because I really love olive oil with balsamic with my bread. I'm gonna toast myself another piece of bread. Gonna enjoy the rest of this olive oil, but can't let it go to waste. In the meantime, if you guys have anything you want me to review in the future, something that you have a fantasy of owning, a fantasy of tasting, something that makes you think of fantasy, I'd love to know. Please leave in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to write down your fantasies because words make it real. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.